Hello everybody, I'm Michelle Dewberry. This is Jubes & Co. Alongside me I've got Kelvin Mackenzie and Dan Hodges. Lots of you still getting in touch about this story, Aston Villa, saying that the away fans are going to be banned from that match with Maccabi Tel Aviv. What I found really interesting is lots of you are getting in touch and trying to explain to me that this is not a ban on Jewish people. I've had lots of people getting in touch and saying, you know, Israel is different to Jewish people. Gareth just got in touch to say, Michelle, not all Israeli people are Jewish. Well, yes, you're factually accurate in what you're saying, but come on now. I find this kind of gymnastics that people are doing to try and somehow not accept the, you know, the horror is awful. It's horrible treatment that is being meted out to Jewish people in this country. I found the gymnastics that people are going through to deny this quite interesting.
Well, I don't find it interesting. I find it puzzling. The truth about the matter is that those people that follow them will be Jewish. And the reason that they can't be protected is they appear to be coming into an area of the country where the Muslim population is strong, and also they have MPs in that area, people who are more concerned about having airports in Pakistan than they are having airports in Birmingham, and they can't be protected. What a shocking situation. You know, somebody has to say, I want our Prime Minister to say, I repeat it now, that we will put the military out there to protect those people. We'll protect them from the airport to the ground and back out again. And if it involves people carrying guns, then so be it. I'd rather that was the case than allow, you know, the stadium empty because people aren't guaranteed their safety. I really, it is impossible to believe. Anyway, look, Starmer is going to have to say something. He can't just say, "Oh, well, that's a police decision."
But we've had a lot of Keir Starmer saying stuff. We now need Keir Starmer to actually do something.
Correct.
I think you're absolutely right. As I say, I'm not an operational expert, but the reality is, it doesn't matter what it takes. Those fans have to be, as you say, safely brought into our country, taken that ground and taken out again. And frankly, I would also, I mean, I would be amazed if this decision has been taken without any, at least, notification to the government, because this isn't just about a football match.
No, it's politics.
This has influence over our foreign policy. If we're talking about foreign fans coming into the country, it's something that needs a very, very clear, decisive response from the government. No more weasel words, no more tweets, no more, you know, wishy-washy, we stand with the Jewish community. No, I don't want to hear anything from the Home Secretary about, oh, these are operational decisions for the police. This is a moment of absolute, unequivocal shame for our country, and the government has to act now. No more words.
Supposing, for instance, the reverse was happening, a team from Bangladesh felt it couldn't come and play in North London because it thought it was going to be attacked by Jews. Can you imagine the outrage of our nation? It wouldn't be allowed to happen.
No,
it shouldn't be allowed to happen now.
Absolutely.
It's a disgrace to us.
It's
a disgrace to us all. And also, I'd like to... why didn't the police simply say, as they have done, for instance, at Orgreaves and other big things, why don't they just say, we'll get in as many police as we can muster from around the country to make this safe, and if that can't be safe, then we call in the army, and if that can't be safe, we then start calling in special forces. This is a hill to die for.
Yeah.
I just want to bring some of you guys in at home, because honestly, you really are getting in touch in your droves on this. Ian says, Michelle, don't let the match go ahead. Play it somewhere safe then. James says, Michelle, you've only got to look to see what happened in Amsterdam to see what would have happened. It would have been absolute carnage. Peter says this is absolutely the right decision by Aston Villa and the other people that have been involved in it. It's not Aston Villa's decision, by the way. Just think, if you us three, had your way and Tel Aviv supporters were allowed and a serious incident occurred, then you three would then be sitting here going, why on earth was that allowed to happen?
No, we wouldn't.
We wouldn't. If a serious incident occurred,
there won't be a serious
incident. We would be saying, why wasn't the security of the fans guaranteed? And we would be calling for, you know, severe penalties on the people who perpetrate the attacks. We don't live in a country where people are allowed to threaten people and get away with it, and threaten violence and get away with it because in the off chance that violence would take place, we protect the innocent and we punish the guilty. We don't do it the other way around.
Callum says, Michelle, you're missing the point. The match shouldn't have been allowed to be played because Maccabi Tel Aviv should have been kicked out of the competition, along with all Israeli teams. He says a UN commission has found Israel guilty of genocide. That alone should be a good enough reason to ban all Israeli teams from everything. What do you think to that?
But that's not... I think there's an interesting argument here. If people wanted to peacefully protest for whatever reason, I don't quite understand what Maccabi Tel Aviv have supposed to got to do with the actions of the Israeli state. But if people wanted to peacefully protest, that's their right, and that's a very different argument. But the game is not being, or the fans are not being prevented from coming as part of a protest. They're being prevented from coming because their safety could not be guaranteed. And the clear implication of that is not that they would be subject to a protest, but they would be subject to physical violence. And that is not acceptable.
I want to show you, because I find this quite interesting. There's a clip that I will play you. This is a man called Ayub Khan. He is a Birmingham MP. Let me just play you a clip that he put up on social media. He put this up on the 17th of September, and then I'll share with you what he's just said today.
Many residents have raised concerns about the football match, which is due to take place on the 6th of November. Maccabi Tel Aviv. We've all seen those harrowing images from Amsterdam. I've started a petition to boycott Maccabi Tel Aviv. There is no space for violence or any thugs to come into Aston or indeed Birmingham. That is why I urge everyone to sign up to this petition. Boycott Maccabi Tel Aviv.
So that was him urging the club to cancel the fixture and take immediate steps to ensure public safety and community harmony. That was in September. Today, he's just tweeted, I welcome the news that Maccabi Tel Aviv fans will not be permitted to watch the match at Aston Villa. Well done to all of those that signed our petition. Then he writes this kind of open letter. He says he welcomes it. From the moment the match was announced, it was clear, he says, that there were latent safety risks that even our capable security and police authorities would not be able to manage. With so much hostility and uncertainty around the match, it was only right to take drastic measures, he says. Sports entertainment events should be enjoyed by all, regardless of their race, ethnicity and background. But there are rare, listen to this, but there are rare instances where the political dynamics surrounding such spectacles cannot be ignored and where drastic action must be taken to ensure the safety of fans, players, staff and local residents. He basically goes on to say that he's glad that that reality has been acknowledged, and he thanks the police and the clubs, etc., for listening to the community's concerns. Now is the time to ease tensions, set aside political differences and focus on the football once more, he says. Any reaction?
Well, that spoken by a Muslim. That is the truth about the matter. When he talks about the community, he's not talking about any community of Jews in the West Midlands or a community of Christians. He's talking about community of Muslims, and therefore it's nakedly political, and he is a voice for that view, and it shouldn't be a voice that should carry any weight when it comes to protecting people from other countries coming into our nation. The more I hear about it, the more disgusted I feel about it.
Yeah, and I've got to tell you, so that all of this is just kind of, the news broke literally about, I don't know, 10 minutes or so before we came on air. And that's why you see me, I'm like looking down just to get the latest lines on it and stuff, because of course now it's generating a huge, huge reaction. What do you think to that MP's statement?
Well, I think, frankly, it's disgraceful, and I think, as we've just seen, that's a member of Parliament who's trying to have it both ways. As we saw in the initial clip, he was actually engaged in stoking up tensions within the local community by calling. It wasn't entirely clear what he was calling for, but some sort of boycott of either the match or the team or the fans. So obviously, and he will have been well aware what the impact amongst sections of the local community would be, and now he's got the brass neck to turn around and say that we need to calm tensions, and it has to be about the football. Anybody who goes to football knows that a fundamental part of football is the fans being there to watch it, and what he's effectively saying is that his community and his city is a no-go zone for Jews. I mean, that's the practical reality of what is being said here, and that is not a tolerable situation in Britain in 2025.